And so if you hit return or enter, because that's going to take you to the same place where you were, Patricia. Adobe.com will take you to for the Photoshop, Illustrator, and the whole full suite. But what we're looking for is if you go back to the address bar, Patricia, at the top instead of the search bar, on the left hand side where of your screen, at the top center of your screen where it says google.com, a little higher, a little
Where?
higher on the address bar, on the a little lower. There you go, right
Here?
here.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
Okay.
Yes.
If you click on
Yeah.
the address, if you click on the address bar there, and then there you go. And then if you type express.adobe.com.
I'm doing Express. I'm doing this again.
Yes, there we go.
Wait a minute. Okay.
Express.adobe.
Oh, it had. All right.
There we go.
Okay.
There you go. That's the
Oh,
correct.
okay. Because it looked different from what you said the other time. All right. So now I'm looking for.
So this will be the landing page now, and then from here
Mhm.
you get, the now, uh, you know,
But we don't want the free one. We want the one that the school pays for. So that is.
right on the top right corner you have that blue circle.
Yeah.
Um, it looks like you're logged in with your FIT account.
For the Adobe Express as well as Adobe Rush.
Well, no. So Adobe Rush is a completely different thing. But you know what? So I'll work with you. 'Cause I think there might be a little problem with your account. I have to probably look at your account separately because I think I want to make sure that you have the FIT account, not the free account, because I'm seeing at the center of your screen there it says get Adobe Express free. Um,
Yeah.
okay. So I'll stay with you, Patricia, after,
Okay.
and then
All
maybe.
right. So get
Okay.
out of
But
this and.
that's a good point. So let
Hi,
me.
Jose, can you do the same for me because I'm getting the same
Hi,
message?
Pamela.
Hi, sorry, how you doing? I came in a little late, but
That's
I'm getting the same message about the free account, but yet I'm logged in with the FIT address.
Sure, sure. Let me share my screen.
Mario and I came by today.
Oh,
So you weren't there.
oh, okay. I'll, all right. I just had faculty come by saying hi. Oh, sorry, but so I'll share my screen. I'll show you the steps because Patricia made an excellent point, and I want to point that out in this meeting because I didn't do it on the last workshop. So that's a very important point, which is there are two ways. There are two websites to get to Adobe right now. By Adobe.com, you're going to get Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere. Um, those are the what do you call it, like a big honchos or the big ones, the big boys, right? Adobe Express, which was formerly known as Adobe Spark, you do not go that route. You have to go through this route. Let me show you guys. And you can get there through the old name, which is spark.adobe.com, or the new name, which is now Express. I'm trying my best to use Express because I got used to using Spark as the name, but they rebranded from Spark to Express. So either way, spark.adobe.com or express.adobe.com will get you to um, Express or Adobe Express. You will not find Adobe Express by going to adobe.com. So that's why, Patricia, when you were going to adobe.com, you didn't see Express there. Okay, and the reason why this is a good side note. It's because Adobe.com, you usually go to Adobe.com to download Photoshop, Illustrator, Premiere, all the big ones. But since Adobe Express is a web-based application and you don't have to download it to your computer, that's why it has its own address, right? Adobe Express does not have to get downloaded to your computer. It works from the website. So that's the main difference between Photoshop, Illustrator, and the rest of those. There's so many, right? Uh, um, Adobe has a full suite of applications which are free to us
So are you
under,
saying that you really can't download Adobe Express? You're
right?
just using it from the website. Okay.
Exactly. And that's the reason why, Patricia, it's not in the adobe.com website, which you were going through, and that's why you didn't see it there. You have to go to express.adobe.com. And I think I have it on the Blackboard. Do I have it? Yes. I have it under Spark. If you go to your Blackboard course on the top right-hand corner, as you can see, I have Padlet, Spark, which I have to change the name. I have to update this and put here Express, right? Because I'm trying now to.
You mean before you check into each course?
Let me see if you can see on the home page. I think you also see it on the home page once you log in. Yes. So you see here
Yeah.
on my screen. Yep, I hear a question.
Yeah, Jose, I went, it is on the top thing there, the Spark in Blackboard. How do we sign up through is it a school account? The next thing that comes up says, log in, with, oh wait, now
Yeah.
it's doing something. Yeah.
That's a great segue now. So let me show you how to do that part. So that's the other.
Jose, where is it on the home page? Because I'm looking at it and I don't.
Oh, on the top right-hand corner, Patricia, you'll see it says Spark.
Oh,
Anywhere,
Spark. Okay, I'm so sorry.
So
I'm sorry.
we could
Okay, got
learn.
it.
yeah, right there where I'm pointing. But I'm going to change that to Express so that it I want
It's
to use the new.
updated. Yeah.
Yeah, it's updated to the new name. It's no longer called Spark. It's now called Express. So back to the question. So how do we log in? So let me show you, because it's not that straightforward, because with everything that it's under the FIT umbrella, we want to make sure that only faculty and students are able to use. So we kind of make it a little difficult for people to log in, so that we make sure that only people from FIT are actually able to log in and use those tools. So once I log in to express.adobe.com, you go to sign in.
But if you're going through Blackboard, you're already signed in.
Not that's a good question, but no, the answer is no, you're not signed in, because if you go through Blackboard, it just opens as a new tab. It doesn't pass any of your information. There's no integration with the Blackboard. But maybe when we move to Brightspace, we might do that. But that's an excellent point, Patricia. You're not logged in
Jose,
automatically.
Because what?
Yes.
I hate to interrupt, but I went to the login and I have a white screen and it has a blue and yellow little square in the center with like an infinity type symbol.
Oh,
Wow.
do you see? So that's when did you get
I-
that from?
I got that in Blackboard, but when I went just online and put in the URL that you gave us, I got the same thing that you just showed us. So I just wanted to let you know.
An infinity, okay, symbol. Let me let me just copy the URL and paste it to the chat so that
Yeah, I'll
it could be
do
like,
it the other way. It's fine.
okay. I'll copy this URL just to make sure that everyone's at the right place, because I don't want to lose anyone.
Because
let me go to
when you do go through Blackboard, it does send you to the free one.
Well, and the reason why that's happening is because I think you're not logging in the correct way. This is why I'm going to show you how the correct way to log in, because I think that's what's happening. I think what's happening is that you're logging in the wrong way, and it's creating a free account for you, which is going to make it a little more confusing. So if you can hold on for me, I will show you how to
Sure.
log in the correct way because
Sure.
I don't want you all creating free accounts.
Mhm.
Okay, so once you're in adobe.com/express, then you click on sign in. And it gets tricky because obviously what normally people would do is they would click continue with Google, and that's the no-no. We have to log in with school account. On the right-hand side over here, let me make the screen a little bigger. Yeah, a little bigger. Okay, so right here on the right-hand side, log in with school account. This is the one we want. Do not click on any of these on the left-hand side. These will create a free account for you, unfortunately. So once you click on log in with school account, now here under email address, just type in your FIT, first name underscore, last name at fitnyc.edu. And then you have to click continue. You have to type in your email address there and then press continue. I'm going to go a little slow just so make sure everybody is following.
Even when I use the one that you suggested, it brings up the free account.
You typed in your email address?
Adobe.com.
You know what?
Well,
Nice.
when I go to adobe.com/express, it doesn't give me a sign in. I'm already signed in.
Oh, okay, because you.
Go ahead and sign out. It did the same thing to me. I'm sorry to
Okay,
interrupt.
doke.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Where do I sign out then? It doesn't have a sign out.
Hit the blue circle and sign
Oh,
out.
okay. Thank you. Thank you
Yeah,
there.
and
Thank
then
you.
restart it.
Thank you,
Okay, and
Pamela.
then restart it.
Problem.
Thank you.
Yes, and
Appreciate it.
that's a great point, Pamela and Patricia, because I think if you're logged in as a free account, so let's make sure that you're logged out of the free account. I'll get you in through the pro account. And let me know, Patricia and Pamela, once you've logged out, log back in.
Okay, I
and
logged
then-
out, logged in, and now I'm back at create a new project.
Okay, let me back up a second
As
now because I
Adobe
think
Express. Did I go
I'm
too
gonna go
far?
back. Yeah, I think you did. Let me back up to where you are so
Sorry.
that everyone. No worries, no worries, no worries. We'll do it together because I want to make sure everybody is in the right place. So let me do that again. Express.adobe.com. We go to sign. So everyone signed out, right? And then you click sign in. And then we log in with school account. Make sure you click school account. Okay, so once we do that, then we have to type in your email address. Your FIT, it has to be the FIT one, not the personal email or any other school. It has to be the FIT one. Then we go and click continue. So now you get two options, personal or company or school account. We want the school account.
Sorry about that.
The
It's life.
doggy agrees. All right, so then we click on school account. It should take you now to the FIT sign into your account. That's how you know you're in the right path because this is now this is FIT making sure you're an FIT personnel, right? You're official. So this is now a second check. This is like Fort Knox, you know. It's like they want to make sure you're an FIT. they're protecting the goods here. And this time you don't put the full email. You just put your first name, your username, which is your first name underscore last name. And then you put in your exactly the same FIT password that you use for your email. All right. And then we go to sign in. And by the way, this is being recorded, so don't worry if you don't have to write it down. If you forget to write it down, I am posting this on our YouTube channel, so you can always go back, rewind, pause, fast forward, all of the above. And now you're in. This is Adobe Express. So this is Adobe Express, and the way I describe Adobe Express, it's really the little brother to Photoshop. So if you're the type of person who has never been able to do graphics because you were afraid of Photoshop, then Adobe Express is that tool for you. It's the easy tool, template based, super easy to make your own graphics without the steep learning curve of Photoshop. And the benefits of being this little brother to Photoshop is that a lot of those features that normally we would go to Photoshop now have trickled down to Adobe Express, such as removing background. I normally would have to go to Photoshop to do this, but look at this, it shows up in Adobe Express. Not only that, but it's so easy to do. I don't have to learn how to do the 10 steps in Photoshop. I could just drop in my image, click remove background. My background is gone. I don't have to learn Photoshop. Resize image. I always had to go to Photoshop to resize an image. And there's a lot of other goodies here. There's a ton of goodies. Trim video, convert to MP4, turn your photo into a GIF. But we're not going to cover these things today because I'm going to keep this super basic and straightforward, and we have a little bit of time. But I want to show you how to create graphics for your course. Now, let me show you some examples just to whet your appetite as to what you can do with how can graphics affect your course in Blackboard. But not only Blackboard, I'm going to show you Blackboard first, and then I'm going to jump over to Brightspace real quick, because eventually we're going to be teaching in Brightspace in a very short time. So let me go to my sandbox, and let me show you what I built real quickly in Adobe Express. So I had a midterm coming up, and I wanted to tell my students that the midterm was coming up, but I didn't want to create an announcement and write a whole bunch of text, because a lot of times my students don't like to read, or they don't even bother reading. So what I did for that announcement was I created a graphic in Adobe Express, and here's how it will look for my students. I took a nice picture, a flyer. This was from a template, and I just typed in midterm exam. The midterm will cover chapters 2 to 6. The exam will be on January 20, 2022. So something like this. This is an example of what you can do with Adobe Express. This took me less than a minute to put together. It was like about 40 seconds. I grabbed a template, one that I liked. I went to the text box and I just typed over it, click save, export the JPEG, dropped it into my announcement, called it a day. That was really quick and easy. Another example I want to show you is an infographic. So this is what an infographic is. You can make assignments out of this. Have your students create infographics. There's a whole bunch of them in Adobe Express that you can use as templates. I had my students create a graph. Let's say a graph, another type of infographic, right? It's data, and then you just have an image, and you can have students do some research, but they can also create an infographic. This one I created also in Adobe Express. This is another example that you can use for your class. Let's say I'm talking about 8 eco-friendly fabrics to look out for. Bamboo, linen, cork, etc. So these are graphics that can help you teach, tell a story, explain something. We sometimes say, what is it? A picture is worth 1,000 words. So you can use graphics to kind of help you in teaching, right? You're teaching something that's very complex. you might want to simplify by creating a graphic that helps them understand and remember the material easier. All right.
Where did you find the infographics, Jose?
Sure, I'm gonna head over there right now. So in
'Cause
Adobe
I just
Express,
in the magnifying glass, I just typed in infographics and it gave me 7 templates for infographics. But if I want to have a wider selection, where do I go?
yeah. So let me first give you a quick tour of Adobe Express, and I'll show you where you can find.
Thank you.
I think you were in the right path, Patricia. You were in the magnifying glass, but let me just give a quick tour now. Before I give you a quick tour of Adobe Express, let me just look at Brightspace because that's what we're going to do next. I want to show you how we can actually create a banner and thumbnails for Adobe on a Brightspace course. Eventually, we're going to Brightspace. Brightspace is perfect because not perfect, but it's great in a way that it allows you to use images effectively. And so this is a course in Brightspace. This is how your course will look somewhat in Brightspace. We have a banner at the top, and then we have what's called the visual table of contents. So here we have a banner. We want to put a nice banner here, and we want to create a nice thumbnail. Now, the visual table of contents basically is like your folders in Blackboard. We have Unit 1, Unit 2, Unit 3. And so for each unit or for each folder, I have an image or a little banner that we can place in here. And so what we're going to do today is we're going to create a banner and we're going to create a thumbnail for that folder in Brightspace so that you guys will be prepared eventually when we move over to Brightspace and you will have your own custom-made banner and your custom-made thumbnails for each unit. All right, so let me bounce back over to Adobe Express. And how do we get in? Now, it can look overwhelming once you get in here because there's so much on the screen, right? As you can see, these are all templates already in front of you. And below there, there's also more templates. So already it's kind of overwhelming, it's sensory overload. But the thing is, you have to be very careful with the templates because if you go back to the Brightspace, you'll notice that the banner is a horizontal image. And so if I go with one of these templates over here, these are vertical, and this will not fit to this frame. Right, so it's like taking an 8.5 by 11 photo and trying to make it fit into a widescreen 16 by 9 frame. It's not going to fit, right? So we need to know the size of the frame before we put the photo in the frame. Does that make sense? Everyone's following?
Yes.
All right. So.
Yes, Jose. Yeah.
Hey, Martin.
Yeah. Following.
Perfect. So I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. So we're in Brightspace. So I want to figure out what is the size of the frame so that I know what to build for the frame, right? So let me click on the 3 little dots here on the banner. And I'm gonna click change image. Now, in Brightspace, they give you a ton of stock footage, as you can see. But I don't want to use a stock footage. I want to be, I want to use my own image, and so I want to edit. Now, actually, the problem though with the banner is it won't let me see the size of the banner, and I won't be able to see the resolution of the banner. The thumbnails, they do let you see the thumbnails, the size. But let me show you how you can get the thumbnails, the size of this frame. You can click on the image, and if you grab one of the corners of, the pinch, you can see the number there, right? You guys can see that 795 by 191. So what I'm going to do is Yes, I'm going to write that down right away. I have a Post-it note, 795 by 191. That is the size of the frame, 795 by 191. You guys all saw how I did that? I clicked on the little dot, and then it gives me the size, 795 by 191. I got a little banner there blocking the view, but there it is, 795 by 191. So now that I know the size of the frame, now I can go back to Adobe Express, go to custom size. Here's the custom size. And look at that, it's asking me for the width and the height. So we said 795 by 191. Now, you only have to measure this one time because all the thumbnails will be the same size. The frames don't change. The frame size will always be the same for the thumbnails. So I keep that little Post-it note and I put it next to my monitor or my screen because I know I'm going to forget that number very soon. My memory fades. So I have it written down, and now I know it's 795 by 191 pixels. So I'm going to go ahead and click Next. And look at that. It's exactly how it looks on Brightspace, right? It's rectangular, it's narrow, and so it's the size I'm looking for. So from here now I can give you the quick tour of Adobe Express. So for example, like Patricia was saying, you have the magnifying glass, and I can type in on here and look for, I can search, right? I can search for bees, right? If I want, I can bring in some of these templates that kind of fit this rectangular frame, and I can start bringing in a template if I want to. I can also bring in text by clicking on text. I can bring in photos, upload photos from my computer. I can bring in shapes to my banner. I can bring in design assets. I can bring in over to my banner. I can also pick backgrounds. So as you see, as you go down from the top to the bottom, it's kind of designed in a way for you to, in the order that you normally will build, right? So I'm going to go ahead and use this background over here, right? And so it's like a hand with a yellow background. Now, on the right-hand side, I can adjust the size of the image that way. I can move up or down the hand as to where I want to put it. I can rotate the image that way. Maybe I'll do it there. I can choose a solid color if I want to change the color of the background. But I'm pretty happy with that right now. So let's add text. I can also, when I click on text, I can also use one of these templates. So it's very template based, right? So if I like this one, I can click on it. And look at that, it's already there. The text. I can change it by removing it, left click on the text and then click on the keyboard, delete, and it's gone. That's how you delete from the stage. Everybody's following so far? Everybody's okay?
Yes, yes, we are. I am.
Now,
Yeah.
if I want to add my course ID or to the text, I can change it, right? I can click on the text. Where did it go? Oh, here. There it is. I can now type. I can type here. Oh wait, it's not letting me. Oh, there it is. Sorry. So now I can type. I can say, welcome. And then I can change the bottom word to EN111. All right, so I have a welcome message as my banner. Welcome, I should say welcome to EN10, right? I should say welcome to. Let me put welcome to EN1111. Okay, now I can change the size by grabbing one of the corners and just make it a little bigger, right? You can see that I can make that a little bigger. Now, if I want to group these two items so I can move it to the left, I can left click, hold the shift key, and then click. Now I grouped all these items together, and now I can move it to the left. Any questions so far about grouping or anything that we covered so far?
If Jose, if you wanted to put your own text in, is there a way, where do you type that in?
Sure, that's a great question.
And choose your own style for it.
Yes, that's a great question. Right. So, so once I clicked on the text on the right-hand side, I have full control to the text that I want to appear. So if I change this to MA121, notice that whatever I type here will represent on the screen, on the stage. Now, if I want to change the font, I can change this from Filson Pro Black to, let's say, a different font. Let's say Ethnocentric Regular, make it more futuristic. If I want to change the font size, I go to the size, make it maybe a little smaller, or maybe a little bigger, maybe 36. I can also change left justified, centered. If I want to center, this is left justified, this is centered, right justified. Transparency, I want to make it more transparent. I can change the transparency from 0 to 100 on the right-hand side. Remember, you just have to click the text. Once you click on the text box, now I have all the options on the right-hand side.
Okay.
Great question. Also, at the bottom, they also give you font recommendations, right, at the bottom. And then you can just, if it shows you something that you really like, you can click on it and it will just do it for you.
Hey, Jose, I have a really quick question because once I took a Photoshop class with my laptop, not realizing that it would have been a lot easier and a lot more precise and a lot less frustrating if I would have just had a mouse, because I was just doing it from my, my laptop pad. Is it the
Right.
same deal? Because I hear you right-clicking and what have you. I mean, I just control click for right-click and what have you because I have MacBook Air. Is the Express, is it more conducive to not having a mouse?
If you use, yes, that's a great question because they do, if you're using it on a computer, then I would say you definitely need a mouse because of the right clicks and the left clicking. If you're using it on a phone or on a tablet, I would say go with the phone app. If you're going to use it on an iPad or on your smartphone, use it. Don't use it from the website. Download the application because the application is designed for an iPad or for your phone. So there's no left clicking and right clicking. They make it more easier for you to use it on an iPad or on a smartphone.
But for just a basic MacBook Air laptop, I don't need to get a mouse to use it properly.
I'm sorry, you said a MacBook Air?
Yeah, just laptop.
Yes, I would say you need a mouse because it will make it a lot easier for you to do some like this, for example, like pinching in, zooming in, pinching out. Without the mouse, it might be a little harder with your fingers.
Okay.
And right clicking and left click. I mean, there's so much that comes with the right clicks and left clicks.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Okay.
a mouse makes it a little easier. Now, again, everyone has their own way of, of their own preferences. Some people might be okay with that, but for me, I would go with the mouse. That would be my preference.
Okay. All right. Thanks.
That's a great question, because if you do want to use it on your phone, or if you do want to use it on your iPad or tablet, you can get the Adobe Express application, and that, Patricia, that you would download. That's an application on your phone that you have to download to your phone or your iPad to use it. That's the exception, right, of using it on the computer. Computer would be on the website. Real quick, we have a few minutes, but I want to show you now. If you're familiar with Photoshop, you know there's layers, right? We talked about layers, and when you teach Photoshop, it's always layers. Let me add one more text here. Actually, let me add a photo. Now, there's stock footage here, and you can simply click on the magnifying glass and find something. Let's say I want to find a laptop that I wanted to put in here in my banner. And, you know, I wanted to put maybe this one in there. Man, this is a nicer one. So I just click on it, and there is the laptop. But notice that the image is in front of my text. I was like, how do I fix this? I want the laptop image behind the text. So this will be something that you have to do in Photoshop, but it's really difficult unless you know your way around Photoshop. But thankfully, with Adobe Express, they do it visually for you. They help you visually. So they have this over here on the bottom right-hand side, and you see 3 layers. If you click on this, it expands. It tells you what's in the foreground, what's in the middle ground, and what's in the background. But you can see that the picture of the laptop is in the foreground. But I want the text to be in the foreground, not the laptop. So how do I fix that? Simply, you left click on the image of the laptop and just drag it behind the text. And look at that. Now the image is behind the text. But now I want the image to fit inside the laptops, right? So now I got to figure this out. So let me go to the text, and I'm going to shrink the text to fit inside the laptop. So it looks like the text is inside the laptop. So you saw how I did that? We restructured the layers and made the text come to the foreground and the laptop to go back in the background. Simply by clicking on the image, going over here to my layers, finding the layer or the image that I want to go in the foreground, and just dragging it to the top. The top is the foreground, the bottom is the background, and the middle is the in-between, the stuff that's in between. Like the right now, the picture of the laptop is in between the background and the foreground, which is the text. Okay, I hope I didn't confuse anybody with that, but that's layers. Now, to cover that in Photoshop, that would take maybe maybe 15, 20 minutes to explain what we just did. Okay, so I'm happy with my banner. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to download this banner. On the top right-hand side, there's a download button. So I just want to download this. I'm going to download it as a PNG. Now, if you're not sure what a PNG means and the difference between a PNG, JPEG, and a PDF, just take the cursor, hover over the PNG, and it tells you. Express will help you. It says PNG, best for graphics, higher quality. If you hover over JPEG, best for photos, smaller file size. If I hover over PDF, best for printing, highest quality. So if you're not sure which one to go with, just hover over something and Adobe Express will tell you what it is. I'm going to go with PNG for now, just for this, and I'm going to click download. As you can see, the file just downloaded to my downloads folder on my computer. Now I'm going to bounce over to Brightspace, and I want to replace this image with my new banner. So I have my thumbnail here selected. I'm just going to click delete. And in Brightspace, it's very easy to add images. All you do is click on the little icon here that says images. Click on that. It's like two little mountains, insert image. And then you're going to go to my computer. Now, you can also choose URL. If you find an image on the internet and you just want to copy the URL to that image and just place the URL. But in this case, I'm just going to upload the image that I just downloaded from Adobe Express to Brightspace. And then I click on upload. Sorry, my computer's a little slow. Come on. Oh, it's struggling here to load. Let me see if I can just drag it into that. There, I'm dragging it into the, there it goes. I like that better. It didn't like me clicking on upload. So there's my image, and then I'm going to click add. This is pretty cool. Look at this. Brightspace will now let you go forward until you add alternative text to that image. So to be ADA compliant, Brightspace will ask you, right? So if I put something here, so I could say welcome banner with image of laptop and hand. Now, if it's an image that doesn't really have anything and is decorative, you can just click this image is decorative and you don't have to write an explanation. Up to you, right? So let's go and I click OK. And look at that. There's our banner. And it fit perfectly. It's a nice fit, right? Because the first thing I did was I got the size of the frame, which is very important. You have to make sure you get the size of your frame before you put the image inside the frame. So I'm going to go ahead and click Update. Now, if I go back out to the home page, I should see.
Jose, before you go further, this is just one picture now. So now you cannot edit within Brightspace in that banner. You've just put everything over in one solid picture. So if you have to edit, you have to go back to Adobe Express, edit it from there, and then
exactly. Now that's an excellent point, Patricia, because that brings, now I can mention this part. This is saved as a project, right? And Adobe Express will automatically save your work. You don't have to go click File, Save every time. It's a cloud-based application because it's, again, remember, we're accessing it from the web. So it's saving for you every time. Now, like Patricia said, we have to come back here and make changes. So since we have this project saved, I can now make a copy of this and make my next thumbnail for Unit 2, right? I can go here now and click on Duplicate. And now I'm going to call this one Unit 2 because remember, the resolution of the frame will not change. So if I duplicate, everything, all the settings carry over, right? So now I have Unit 2.
Abracadabra.
Abracadabra. And there we go. So now I have, so now for this one, I'm going to go in the text.
And if I want to, like, the preponderance of space is the hand rather than welcome to the actual course. So I'd like to make the hand smaller and make the text within that whole thing larger.
Oh, yes. Yes. So now that comes to the creative side of you, right? Everyone has their own, right? Everyone got the creative, right? So yes. But you see, now I have the same banner. It's like a cookie cutter now for me. I took the main banner. I came in here now. I titled it Unit 2 now. So we're keeping the same thing, the same theme. We got the purple and the yellow. We have the hand. But to Patricia's point, yes, I can make this a little bigger, right? So let me make a and they make it a little bigger so that, actually, you know what? Let me group it. Let me group everything so I don't have to do everything. I don't have to change the size of everything. So I'm going to hold Shift, Shift, hold Shift, group all 3 items together. Now I can make it bigger. So it's easier to read, right? So now I can make that a little bigger. And I did that by grouping, by clicking on Shift, and all right, that looks a little better. But now this is Unit 2, so now I can download Unit 2 as a PNG, hit Start Download. Now I can go back into Brightspace. Now I go back to, not the content area, I gotta go home. Let me go home, sorry. Here, the home button. I'm still figuring out my way around Brightspace. And so I go back into my course. Now I go to Unit 2, replace the thumbnail for Unit 2, which is over here. Click on it. Click on the image. Remove the image. And now I'm going to click on the Insert Image, My Computer, Upload. I don't know why, for some reason, I'm just going to drag it. I don't know why the upload button is not working for me. I'm just going to drag the file from my downloads folder to the added file. Here's the same question again. This I'm going to make it decorative. This image is decorative. And click OK. And look at that, a perfect fit. So now I click Update, and if I go back home, now let's see how it all looks together. Yeah, this one, sample course with data. See what's happening here? Here's the welcome. Here's my Unit 2. And you'll rinse and repeat, right? You're going to go back into Adobe Express, click on the text. Now we're going to double left click, Unit 3, download, and the same thing over and over until you get. So
wait a minute, did you go to the 3 dots above and duplicate it first or not?
Oh, thank you, Patricia. Yes, I would have. You see, that would have been a big boo boo. I would have saved it as Unit 2. So yes, Patricia, thank you.
Oh my God.
So that would be duplicate, and now I would call it Unit 3. Thank you, Patricia.
That's amazing.
I love that you picked that up. That's great. So you're following the steps along the way. So now this is Unit 3. Then I would download Unit 3, drop it into Brightspace, and do it that way. Now, with Adobe Express, it's all about really having fun and playing with it, because there's no way you can make a mistake, because if I accidentally deleted Welcome to Unit 3, you have the magic undo button up here. All right, so if I screw up the whole thing, I can always undelete. Or if I've done several steps ahead, I can always undo until I get to that point in time where I made the boo-boo, right? And I changed my mind. So keep in mind, the undo button is over here at the top center of your screen. Not only that, you can also, if you change your mind, you can also do redo, which is go back to my mistake, which I thought was a mistake at the time, but now I don't think it's a mistake. So I did the redo or undo, which brings it back.
Jose, I don't know if I missed anything, but when you went from banner to the individual units, you didn't end up changing around the pixel size at all. It used that same 795 by 190 by 191 for the banner, reused that same image. Okay, and it just scaled it down. Okay.
Well,
okay.
No, Pamela. Actually, no. You're right. I didn't. That's a great point. So, well, Pamela's bringing up an excellent point, because these 2 banners are completely different sizes. I didn't do this one yet, Pamela. So let me show you this one. Yeah. So that's. I'm thank you for bringing me back, because I kind of skipped this part. But what Pamela is saying was that I did these little thumbnails, and I got the size for these, which is 795 by 191. But I never got the size for the big mama here, the big banner. So let me show you that real quick. Now, with Brightspace, changing the banner, figuring out the size of the banner can be tricky, because unfortunately, when you click on the three dots, it's either change the image or remove the image. Let me see this one, customize banner text. No, this one won't do it. This just lets you change the name of the course on here. So how do I get around to, where do I get a measuring tape? How do I measure this banner, right? So I came up with a workaround for this. I was asking myself, how am I I can't get a ruler and start measuring this and trying to figure out what is the width, what is the height here, and what's the width. I don't know. So what I did was I used trusty old Screencast-O-Matic to help me out here. So sometimes we gotta get creative, right? We always don't know. Like we gotta, like a carpenter, always have to come up with some creative ways to figure out an answer to the question. So look what I did to figure out the size, the width, and the height for the main banner. What I did was, now remember, you only gotta do this one time because once you measure it, then you know it's always the same. The width and the height will never change. It's always gonna stay the same. So look how I figured it out. I went to Screencast-O-Matic. I did a new recording. Remember that in Screencast-O-Matic, it allows you to measure things if you choose one of these, let's say 480. Remember the zebra box? I don't know if you guys use Screencast-O-Matic or not, but this allows me to measure the banner, right? So we got to use the tools that we have, and we got to get creative. We got to think outside the box. But look at the resolution on in the right-hand corner. You guys see that? 1458 by 246. Now, if I move the zebra box, notice that the numbers change as I increase the size of the box. Look at that.
How did you get the zebra? How did you get the zebra tape measure?
Sure, let me do that. I'll show you that one more time. I'll hit cancel. I'm gonna open Screencast-O-Matic. Once I have Screencast-O-Matic open, I click on the record button. I'm not gonna record anything. I'm just gonna use Screencast-O-Matic to measure as a measuring tape. Under size, do not choose full screen, because if you do full screen, it's going to give you the full screen, and you're never going to see the zebra box because full screen is full screen. So what I'm doing is I'm going to choose 480p. Click on the X to make the box go away, because I don't want the Screencast-O-Matic user interface. I don't need it. So I'm clicking on the X. Now I'm left with the zebra box, and I'm just going to grab the corners just like a carpenter would and match it up to that banner. And right away, I'm going to go to my notepad and write down 1456, because I'm going to forget. I'm definitely going to forget that number. 1456 by, what was the other number?
246.
240.
Oh, 246.
I thought it was 1458 by 246.
It's okay. Now, it doesn't have to be exactly, as long as you get it as close as possible, because remember, you can always grab the corners and resize it once you place it into Brightspace. So just as long as you get it kind of close, 1456 by 242 works pretty good for me. 242. I'll do 1456 by 242. So now I'm going to go back to Adobe Express, and I'll speed up a little bit because I know I'm running out of time. I don't need Screencast-O-Matic anymore, so I'm going to say bye to Screencast-O-Matic. Let me close it by clicking on the red X. Yes, stop and exit. I don't want it anymore. And Screencast-O-Matic goes away. Now, I'm going to make a duplicate of this banner. And I'm going to call this, I'm going to click on the three dots. I'm going to make a duplicate. And I'm going to call this the main banner. Main banner. Abracadabra. Now I have but what's the problem here? This is the small one. We need to change this to the big one, the big mama. So on the right-hand side, we have resize. On the right-hand side, you should see the icon resize. I'm going to click on resize. I'm going to go to custom, because I already know the size of the frame. So I want to do custom. And look at that. It's showing me the old measurements of the small ones, 795 by 191. I don't want the small one. I want 1456 by 242. Click done. Look at that. Now, obviously, it's a different size and it's zoomed in a little bit. So if you want to adjust some things in here, you can adjust the hand if you want to by clicking on the hand. You might want to flip it around if you want to make it a little bit, I don't know. If things moved around for you too much and you don't want it, you want it to change, or if you want to make it bigger or smaller, that's as small as it gets, unfortunately. But
Can
I'm
you
happy with
eliminate the hand?
Oh, of course, we can get rid of anything. This is your world. You can make it. You decide what stays and what goes. I delete the hand. Now I get a purple background. If I want to replace it with something else, what should I put in there, Patricia? What should we put it?
Well, the background was yellow, so.
So let's go to backgrounds, and then I can choose something else. Let's go with what's a good color here? This looks pretty cool.
Or even like that geometric, in other words. So yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
You like that one?
Yeah,
So,
I do. I don't know anybody else.
Or that outer space one. I mean, there's so many you can choose.
The outer space one.
I can get stuck here all day just looking for,
Yeah.
I can put a drink in there. Look at that. I can put the drink. I don't know what kids will think. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
But again, you guys can, play with this. There's so much to do here. And then even that, you can even go to an image or a shape or whatever. All right. So anyway, I gotta stop because but this is making me thirsty. So I'm happy with what I got, but now, oh, sorry, the text got to change. I got to say, EN, welcome to EN, or let me put the course ID. Now, Brightspace will allow you to put the course ID. As you remember, I took it off, but you can put it in here if you like. You can put the course ID within the image if you want, or you can just click Add Course ID to the banner. It will do it for you. Brightspace will do that for you. I'm just going to put it in for my own sake. I'm going to put EN1111. Okay, so I'm happy with that for now, and then I'm just going to click Download. I'll keep it as a PNG. I'll click Start Download. And this is where Pamela was asking the big question, right? This is the big question, Pamela, right? So now I go back into the big one here, the main banner. Click on the 3 dots. Change the image. Upload my new banner. I want to be fancy. I don't want to use their stock images. I want to use my own banner. I'm going to go to my computer. I'm just going to drag it again. The upload button doesn't seem to work for me today. So I'm just going to drag the image into, there we go. Click Add. Look at that. Now I have it duplicated. I would say welcome to EN1111, and it also has the English 1101. But you can also customize a banner text and then remove. You can just put none, and now just have it. Just use mine. You saw how I did that? I removed the course ID and just left it because I already had put the course ID inside the image itself, so I don't want it to duplicate itself. Now, I did change my theme. I didn't go with the hand, but if you wanted to continue the same theme, the purple and yellow, you can do that. You can continue a nice theme throughout all your units. But Adobe Express will come in handy when we move to Brightspace because Brightspace allows you to use graphics in a more powerful way as opposed to Blackboard where it wasn't, it wasn't what's the word? It wasn't so accessible in Blackboard. It was a little hard.
Visual.
As visual. Thank you, Patricia. Yeah. Right. Now in Brightspace you have the visual table of contents, right? Because this is a perfect tool to kind of welcome them into the unit folder. So,
although we did have the banner above just on the home page.
Yes, you're right. Yes, we had a banner.
If you want to play now. right?
That's true, right? I can go back to Blackboard over here and go to go to content or the home page and throw in a banner in there. Yes, actually I have to go back. I have to go back and change the settings and go to. But yes, Pamela, you're right. I can still play in Blackboard if you want to, or like I did here. You can always add those images to Blackboard as the. Oh, I'm going way over. Let me stop. But here you can you can always put images on the like that or on the folder itself. Yes, you can.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, great.
Now that was very quick. I'm going to stop the recording there.